the first ad they show, and you can see the headline doesn't actually show in the newsfeed ad because of my image size. It only shows the text, and Facebook gives you the notification of that right there. The headline, I just put this for fun in the video, band work rocks your world, but you can see some of the other ads I did had a very simple key value proposition, such as like cute dogs or like a great business strategy. You want a simple headline often that asks a question and gets people thinking. You don't want an ad that just blends in with the rest, and most of the ads are talking at people instead of talking to people. You want to give someone the chance to think about what you have to say. You don't want to just blindly yell at them because everyone else is blindly yelling at them too. The name of the game is to stand out. So your headline is a great chance to stand out unless you're in the news feed, in which case it's not even there. So it's important, if you have a key headline you want to use, you may need to remove the news feed ad. For the text ad, you can see in the news feed this pops up. For the right-hand column, you'll see the right-hand column, the headline's here, and the text is right here. For the text, you often want to put your value proposition. Once you get someone thinking about what you have to offer, then you want more of your value proposition in the text. The sponsored stories, I would generally recommend unchecking this option. The sponsored stories create an additional ad unit that specifically shows just that your friends like something. Often these will be a lot more expensive than a more generic ad. I recommend experimenting and seeing what works best for you. Now, how do you actually choose the locations? Once you've done the last several steps, now you can actually choose the locations. This is how I would make my campaign if I wanted to reach what has proven to consistently be my easiest to reach and highest value return in terms of cost of acquisition and cost, my ROI. This is my great return. Older people in Canada that are interested in various business areas. However, remember what I showed you before. To just build Facebook likes, as many of them as possible, you want to enter in countries where the ad costs are low, either in addition to your ideal scenario, or I recommend splitting completely. You have one campaign you put up for your ideal scenario, and you put another campaign up that's just for quantity, just as many people as possible. In the targeting settings, you just continue to add one location by country and after another. I recommend, if you're going to go with getting as many as possible, go all the way with it. Just leave the age to the default, leave the gender, maybe pick the gender, like if it's a fashion page, picking the women can help a lot in getting better results. The key is, no matter how you do your ads, picking your interests out is critical. And there's a mixed bag on this. Sometimes picking out a generic interest can prove to be a great way to get a ton of fans for low cost. Other times, picking out a generic interest can be a great way to blend in with everyone else and get higher ad prices charged. Sometimes an alternative, such as choosing an out-of-the-box targeting, such as for a fashion page, choosing women that like happy, and then showing them how your page makes them happy, can often work a lot better than hitting the generic fashion terms. You also can target competitor pages only and not put in the generic terms, because lots of times the competitors have done however they got their fans. You know a lot more about what kind of person likes their page than, say, the people using the fashion term. And you're going to often run into less competition using more specific page audiences than using a generic term. The thing is, the only way you know is if you test both of them against each other. So my recommendation is always to make separate campaigns by audience. So that's location, age, gender, and interests. And use the same ad creatives. The final step in creating your ads is doing the campaign. So when I say make a separate campaign, you use the new campaign option to make a different campaign. And this is especially powerful for testing out your ads based on getting a low-cost audience. If you want a low-cost audience, you want to test those ads out separate from whatever other ads you're doing so that you can just see how much they're costing you versus how much you're paying in the other campaign. I always recommend setting a daily budget, but if you only have a fixed budget, you can set a start and an end date and have a lifetime budget, and that way you know you're not just going to spend a ridiculous amount of money by accident. The bidding choices are key, especially to get the most likes out of those optimized CPM campaigns I showed you. You need to choose optimize for page likes. If you bid for clicks, if you get a click for 1 cent each, the max you can get is 100 clicks per dollar. If you remember my screenshots before, I was getting as many as 11 clicks for 1 cent spent. Thus, you need to optimize for page likes to get the best possible rate, unless you're doing web traffic. You can do the strategy I've suggested for web traffic also, just the same as you can do it for Facebook traffic. Although there's likely to be a lot of unexpected consequences. For example, Facebook might be available in the country you're advertising in, but your website might not load. So you would want to test that out carefully in each scenario and get some data on that before you go with a huge campaign. But you can manually bid for clicks, and I recommend doing this if you're getting just web traffic, or you want web traffic as the result. So when you do all of this right, here's what can happen. This is one of the many $10 a day campaigns I'm running. You can see I'm pushing over 200 likes per dollar spent. So that means I'm getting 2 clicks for every, or 2 likes out of every 1 cent spent. This is what's possible for you when you put all these strategies together. And here's how, after I make the ads, like you just saw, here's how they come out. The key is this metric, cost per page like, total spent. Most of the money I'm spending in this campaign is coming out at 2 page likes for 1 cent. So that means it shows as 0.00 cost per page like. And that's a function of click-through rate times optimized CPM. That's how you get your page like. Now, optimized CPM technically is cost per 1,000, and the click-through rate is per 100. So the click-through rate, you actually times it by 10, so that's 3.25 times the 1 cent. And then you can see I'm getting 3 clicks for every cent I spend, and that's how I'm getting 2 page likes out of the money I spend. So you can see $65 spent, roughly 3 clicks per cent spent. 19,000 clicks turns into 14,000 page likes. That's the basic data analysis. Now, remember when I said earlier about the value of clicking the Reports tab? I'm going to show you how to use the Reports tab really quick, because this strategy can be great using 1 or 2 ad campaigns. You can easily see for yourself how good it is. When you want to scale this strategy up and pull 100, 200, 1,000, a million Facebook likes, what you need to do to see what's working the best is use the Custom Report tab. And you can use this. I'm going to show quickly how to do it for page likes and for conversions. So this one you can see is sorted by conversion. And I did this, I went into the Reports tab and I custom selected the columns I wanted to print out. So I chose each of these metrics so that Facebook wouldn't give me a bunch of crap I didn't need. And this was an actual analysis I did for a client with a weight loss product. He originally wanted to get conversions down below $20 each. What he didn't realize was that he already had ran a campaign that was getting conversions for $1.41 each. So he he runs hundreds of ad campaigns at once. This ad campaign slipped through the cracks. He ran it for a while, but he picked a length on it. He picked a start and an end date, and went and concluded, and he never noticed $1.41 cost per lead out of this campaign. You can see these campaigns all should be running. When I did this analysis, I told him you need to unpause all of these campaigns that aren't running right now because they were working exceptional. I sorted the same thing for him. He wanted me to come in. He was getting most of his likes for around 79 cents each. And you can see most of these new campaigns I created for him were doing that for a lot less. And they were doing it actually using just a US audience. And the methodology I told you for creating the ads above. So making 6 to 20, 30 plus images per campaign and then trying out all the different audiences. You can see his cost per page likes low, but when you use the worldwide ad campaigns and they're all getting you likes for 0.00, what you'll need to do is actually export this to an Excel file and then sort that by the cost per page like, because a lot of the campaigns I run, the cost per page like is 0.002, 3 or 4, so you can't actually see the difference in the Facebook ads interface. But the importance of sorting on these critical action metrics such as cost per page like and cost per lead or conversion, you've got to sort on these. Otherwise, this is what happens. $9,000 spent on Facebook ads, 79 cents per like to almost the same audience I was running those 20 cents per like ads to, and $4,600 for a conversion. I mean, he said about half of his purchases were immediate conversions and half were long-term conversions. This audience that you spent 10 grand on is none of them are immediate conversions. You don't want things like that. So the reports tab, half of the importance of doing the reporting is to not as much find and analyze every campaign, but find your best and your worst campaigns. Get rid of, pause, and delete the worst campaigns and make sure all the best ones are running. The same thing with the cost per page like. This campaign spent $52, no conversions, and got 1 like out of it. Now this campaign with $11 conversions, you're getting those short-term conversions, but you're not getting much long-term value. The ideal solution, you want to get some of these campaigns running like I showed up here. 22 cents per like, you're getting long-term value, plus you're getting some immediate value out of it as well. So doing these reporting tabs and sorting based on best and worst, that's the easiest way to see how well the method I showed you is working, and especially to compare between your different ad campaigns and things you're testing. So this is what you want to get your goal at. And I've showed you the 3 key things you need to do to get it this way. You first want to do your research, think out of the box. Second, you want to create the ads with attention to having powerful ad campaigns that are split tested. That means you have different ad campaigns and you have many different ads with different pictures at least in each campaign. And then you have to analyze what ads are working and what aren't. Did this seem like a whole lot to you to learn? Well, I've combined the thousands of hours of experience I have down into one video. If it seems like a whole lot, you can email hijerry@bandwork.com with your questions. If you want to make Facebook ad campaigns like a pro, this is a valuable skill